friends, welcome to Sydney Makes Crochet Items. Now I did a little test swatch for the Birds of Kindness 60 count hat. I was starting to feel it, but then didn't really like it, so I started over and worked up another pattern which I do like, and this one is basically the bee stitch and then my crossing stitch with extended single, the bee stitch again, and then my brim. So I wanted to recreate that with my leftover yarns that I kind of recaked for my leftover skeins from the Luck of the Draw 13. And so basically I just grabbed all of those that were loose and recaked them because I figured I could just make hats with them. So that's what I'm doing with this one. And then I redid the crown. So if you need to see this again, go ahead and click on the description below and it'll show you how to work this up. If not, I'll put the recipe in the description as well. And then the rest of this video will be kind of just a quick snippet of how to work up the body of the hat. So I hope you enjoy, and this will be my contribution this year for my donated hats, and did promise to do for 2026 20 hats, and I'm planning on do 10 to Bumblebee Mountain Outreach, 5 to Watson's, and then another 5 to Olive Branch. That's something, maybe since 2026 I'll add another 6 to a separate charity. You guys tell me where you guys are donating to, and maybe I'll join your team. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you in a little bit. Another crochet with me. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so for this hat I did move up to a 6, but you can use whatever size you need, because remember I said that the crown should be the size of your hand if you make it for yourself. Me personally, I make my donated hats to make sure they fit me, and my hand method typically works out. So I got the 60 count here, and it's 10 rows of the Bursts of Kindness. I started with 6 extended singles, and then I just worked it way to 10. So now what I'm going to do is do half double crochets in each stitch, but we're still following the insert the half doubles inside the extended singles. And when you get to the front post, you just do a front post. So that's 1, 2. Oh, let's back that one out because I didn't get it in the legs. Make sure you go in between the legs. With the half double. So yarn over, go in between the legs of the extended single, yarn over, and go through all 3. So this would technically be row 11. And in row 11, you would have 9 half double crochets in the extended singles, and then when you get to 10th stitch, you're just going to do a front post, half double, and repeat that all the way around. I'll just do another section, then pause it. That way this video isn't too long, and then I'll meet you back up to the stitch burger. So just 9 half double crochets in the extended singles. And then when you get to the post, just a half double front post. Okay, so just follow that all the way around until you get to the last stitch, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, so we're to the last section of row 11. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This last one is kind of tricky. Just make sure you go in between the legs. 9, and then the front post is 10. Okay, now what I'm going to do is move my stitch marker up to this one, and then we are going to go to row 12, which, because you just did half double crochets all the way around, you should still have 60 stitches. And what you're going to do next is we're going to work on the third loop of the half double crochet. So you have the top of the stitch, the third loop here, but because this one is kind of holy, we're going to go ahead and grab the third loop, which is this one here. There. And then I'm going to pick up the stitch from the one below it to kind of close it up, but you won't really notice it. So you're going to go all the way around on the third loop of the half double of the previous row from row 11, and just do a single crochet all the way around. At the end of row 12, you should have 60 single crochets, and we're not going to slip stitch or anything like that. So this is what I call a camo stitch, but I don't really technically know what the actual stitch is called, but this will give the ridge, so it kind of separates the crown from the body of the hat. So you guys continue, and I'll meet you back on the last stitch. Alright, so I'm on the last section of the single crochet row of row 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oops. And then the last one is the one that was the front post, but you should still have a third leg. Okay? And we'll just move the stitch marker up. So row 12 is basically a single crochet on the third loop of the half double crochet row all the way around. Okay, so row 11 was half double crochets in the extended singles, and then the front post half double. Row 12 was a single crochet in the third loop of the half double crochets. So 11, 12, and now we're going to go to row 13. Row 13 is going to start the V-stitch, which from my understanding, the V-stitch is skip a stitch. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be 2 single crochets in the first stitch, skip a stitch, and then repeat that all the way around. So 2 singles, skip, 2 singles all the way around, and you should end with 1 skipped stitch here, and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm on the last section. So it's 2 single crochets in the next stitch, skip 1, 2 singles, skip 1, 2 singles, skip 1, 2 singles, skip 1, 2 singles, skip 1. Okay, so for this next row, which is row 14, I'm going to change it up just a little bit because it's a little confusing for the way Jax does it, but you can definitely do it the way Jax did, which is go into this leg here and then go down here to the skip stitch and do 2 single crochets. What I'm going to do is basically you're going to go from this last stitch here and skip all the way to the first stitch that you skipped, go into that stitch from the bottom and do a single crochet, and repeat that all the way around. So those stitches that you skipped, you're just putting 2 single crochets in it. So the previous row that you skipped, you're going to put 2 single crochets in that row, or that skip stitch. It kind of looks like that. So this is my version of the V stitch. Which I think is a lot easier, but you guys do what is best for you. So there's just 2 rows in this B stitch. So B-E-E. Got 2 sections left. more stitches. Okay, at the end of this row you should have, remember you have that stitch here that you skipped, so make sure you go in there. 1 and 2. Okay, so at the end of row 11, 12, 13, 14. This was row 14. You should have 60 stitches still. So now I'm going to move the stitch marker up to the stitch that's on the hook. And we're going to go to row 15, which is 1 half double crochet in each stitch. So at the end of row 15, which I need to cut that tail, or sew it in, whichever one, is, this is my B stitch. We're going to go ahead and do another half double, and then the 16 will be a single crochet. But I will just do that silently because you don't really need me to walk you through. But you can watch me. So row 15, 11, 12, 13, 14. Row 15 is a half double in each stitch. Okay, I'm going to pause it. You keep going until you get all the way back to the stitch marker. You should have 60 half double crochets. Okay, coming up to the last section. And 10. Alright, so at the end of row 15, you should have 60 half double crochets. Okay, so 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Row 16, you're going to go ahead and do a single crochet in the third loop. And that first one, I always grab the stitch from below to kind of close up that gap a little bit, like so. And then just do one in the third loop of the half double all the way around. So row 16, you should have 60 single crochets. And if you just turn it, it's easier to grab that stitch. I'll meet you back up when we get here. Okay, and the last section. 2, 9 and 10. Alright, so that is row 16. Just a single crochet all the way around, and basically that's gonna bring the first section of the body. After you do the crown, this is the B section, my version of the B section. But again, if you want to follow Jax's B section, you definitely can, because it's a pretty fun stitch once you get the hang of it. But I think this is a little bit easier to work up. So let's go to row 17. Move up the stitch marker. Okay, so for row 17, you're going to incorporate the extended singles but crossing. So you're going to skip the first stitch and put an extended single in the next stitch. So an extended single is go in the loop, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, and go through 2. That's an extended single. Then you're going to go back to the stitch that you skipped in the front and just do an extended single. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. Now remember, you just went in this one, so you're going to go skip this one and go into this one. Go back to the skip stitch. And do an extended. So you just repeat that all the way around. You should still have 60 stitches. Just make sure that you don't go into the stitch that you already went into originally. So skip a stitch, extended, go back to the skip stitch, extended. Just repeat that all the way around, and it's going to be across basically, but with extended. Okay, so I'm about halfway to the stitch marker. I figured I'd join you back actually. Just make sure you go through both loops. Okay, so you can see that the first one was that one, so you're going to skip this one, go into this one, and do an extended single, and then jump back to the skip stitch and do an extended single. So for this row, I typically go slower than all the other rows because I want to make sure that I'm not missing a stitch. At the end of row 17, which is the crossing extended single stitches, you should still have 60 stitches. So this part of the stitch is most like, see how I skipped that stitch? I gotta do that again. It is going to be a 3-row repeat for this section of the beanie. So row 17, just to reiterate, it says skip a stitch. In the next stitch, we do an extended. Go back to the skip stitch, put an extended single. Which I must have missed one. Yep, right here. I'm going to go back and double check because I only have one stitch left. Yeah, see, I went into the same stitch here. So we're going to do the right thing and frog. So let me do that over. Okay, so I went into this stitch. I'm going to go back into this stitch and do an extended single. So I already went in that one. I'm going to skip this one and go into this one. And then go into the next, go into the stitch that I skipped and repeat that all the way around. So remember, don't go into this one that you already came out of, and you can kind of see it like that. So always go into the next one and then go back to the skip one. So skip one, extended single, go back to the skip, if you have to, just pull it apart so you can get into those two legs. I won't bore you to watch me go all the way back around. So I'll meet you back at the end of row 17. All right, down to the last 6 stitches. So we're gonna skip one, extend it in the next, go back to the skip stitch, extend it, skip a stitch, extend it in the next, go back to the skip stitch, just make sure you pick up both legs, and you should end with 2. So skip one, extend it in that stitch, and then go back to the skip stitch. There you go. So this is my bee crossing stitch. All right, so for the next row, which is row 18, it's pretty simple. All you're gonna do is, for each X that you see, you're gonna open it up. So what I like to do is just slide my hook underneath these 2 legs, like so. But you're just going to do 2 extended singles in that stitch. So that's 1 and 2. So row 18, you're going to do an extended single in the cross of the previous row. Like so, all the way around. So at the end of row 18, you should have 60 extended singles. So I'll do this first section with you, but I'll leave you to the rest of the stitches at the end of this row. Remember, you're going to go in between the X's. If it's easier just to go on top of that stitch, you can, but I like to go in between the stitches. Either way, it's fine, just as long as you have 2 extended singles in between the cross, like so. See, I feel like when you just go in the top, it's a little bit holier. So kind of just pick and go, whichever is easier for you. Like so. Okay, I'll leave you to it, and I'll meet you at the stitch marker. At the end of row 18, you should have 60 extended singles in between the X's of the previous row. Okay, so I'm almost halfway to the end of row 18. So I was thinking about it. If you think about it, you're skipping 1 stitch and then you're going to put 2 extended in the next. So I mean that makes a little bit more sense. So you skip this stitch and you put 2 extended singles in that stitch. So skip, extended single 2 times, skip, extended single, skip, extended single 2 times. So whichever way, but it's basically the same thing. You're going in between the X's and putting the 2 extended singles in that stitch. Like so. Okay, almost to the end. So skip 1, 2 in there, 2 in the next stitch, skip 1, 2 in the next stitch, skip 1, 2 in the next, and this should be your last stitch. Okay, so that is row 17. So you got your crossing, and then you have your V's. So now for row 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Row 19. What we're going to do, our stitch marker, you're going to kind of go back to the crossing stitch. You're going to go ahead, lay it down, measure it. This next row, you're going to repeat it 2 times. So what you're going to do is go into in between the 2 legs here and put an extended single. So you skip the first stitch, go into the next stitch, but then when you go back into the stitch, you're actually going to go into the leg of this previous stitch. So that's 1 and 2. So then you're going to skip the next stitch and go into the next stitch. And then from the previous bees, you're going to go into the left leg and do an extended single there. And you just repeat that all the way around. At the end of this row, you should still have 60 stitches. So skip the stitch and then go, the stitch that you skipped, you're going to go back to the V of the left leg of the previous row and put an extended single there. Okay, so skip this stitch, go into the middle of the V, extended single, and then the stitch that you skipped from the previous row, put next there. Okay. You get the gist of it. I'm just gonna keep going until I get back to the stitch marker, and I'll see you back. I need you to move so I can crochet. Technical difficulties. Come on, bud. I gotta finish showing them how to make this hat. Gotta move your face. Go get your toy. Okay, I'm gonna crochet over you. Yeah, you don't like that so much, but you gotta move. Come on, Herx, you gotta move. You just want to be in the video? And you're laying on my yarn. I need you to get up. Come on. Get your froggy. What happened to your frog's arm? Get your baby. Thank you. Oh, Herx, you gotta move. Thank you. No, take your ball. Hercules, You're gonna get poked in the eye with the hook. Is the yarn tickling your ears? Thank you. Go in between the X, the V, and then go back and extend it in the previous sleeve. Extend it. Last one. Alright, so at the end of this row, you should still have 60 stitches. So you have the B and the crossing stitches. The next row is going to be a half double crochet in each stitch, and then you're going to do a single crochet, and then you're going to repeat my version of the B stitch again. I'm going to do that behind the scene because this furry guy is in my way. And so hopefully, since I've already shown you how to do these two sections, just repeat this for another row, 2 rows. So then it's half double in each stitch, single crochet in the third loop, and then the B stitch, which is 2 single crochets in the first stitch, skip a stitch, and then repeat that all the way around. And the next row, you're going to jump to the skip stitch, put 2 single crochets in that stitch, skip a stitch, and repeat that. So only in the skip stitch, you're going to put a single crochet, 2 single crochets in that stitch. And then you'll repeat it with a half double crochet row, and then a single crochet row. And I'll meet you back when that is all done, because this guy is in my way. Yeah, you are. Alright, so I ended up doing a half double crochet and then a single crochet in the third loop. So we are technically, row 11 was the half double crochets, 9 half double crochets in the extended singles, and then a front post half double crochet. Went all the way around to the end of the stitch, and we had 60. And then we did a single crochet in the third loop, which is row 12. And then row 13 was B stitch number 1, which is 2 half double crochets. 2 single crochets in the first stitch. We skip a stitch and repeat that all the way around. I'm calling that B1. And then B2 for the second row is you're going to skip the first stitch and actually first and second stitch and just jump to the stitch that was skipped previously and put 2 single crochets in that stitch. And then skip the 2 single crochets and jump to the skip stitch of the previous row and put 2 single crochets. And then row 15 was a half double crochet row. 16 is the single crochet in 3rd loop. I believe that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 is half double, 16 single, 17 is the cross extended single, which is basically you skip a stitch, extended single in the next stitch, go back to the skip stitch and extended single. Repeat that all the way around. And then the next row is 2 extended singles in between the X, which is you skip a stitch, and 2 extended singles, sorry. And then row, I lost count on what row is what. Anyway, the next row is going to be extended single in between the V stitches, and then you're going to jump back to the left leg of the V and put an extended single. And so far, this is where you're at with your beanie. A lot of texture. And then we're just going to repeat B1 and B2 to finish off the body of the hat, and then we'll work on the crown. This is very confusing, but the sky is kind of ruining the vibe. So I might have to redo this video. It might not even get posted. But anyway, let me just show you real quick. B1 is 2 single crochets in the first stitch, skip the next stitch and repeat. 2 single crochets, skip, 2 single crochets, skip, all the way around. Okay, I'll leave you to it.